What's up, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and none of the above? This is DL back here with more TBL versus TTM war coverage. This time we'll be covering my round 3 game against Khaz. I actually played this as my second game. I played this before my battle against Chris. Going into this battle, I wasn't really too enthused because I had just lost to Zazo. I was like, whatever, I won my KSL championship. I won the games that mattered. But kind of turned up in the middle of this battle, but still was a little on the lazy side. So, yeah, you'll see. Anyways, Khaz's team has Zygarde, Greninja, Nidoqueen, Bronzong, Tapu Bulu, Zard Y, Silvally, Alomomola, Swallow, Rotom Ghost, and Passimian. So I decided to bring a Choice Scarf Staraptor with Brave Bird, U-Turn, Defog, and Pursuit, which is a really nice speed control option for dealing with things like Dragon Dance, Zygarde, Greninja, Nidoqueen, Bulu, Zard Y, Swallow. Basically just Scarf Raptor was really nice speed control, gave me a slot to run Defog, and some momentum with U-Turn. Next mon I brought was a Bolt Beam Calm Mind Mega Latias with a bit of speed here. Max HP with a little bit of special defense. So this has enough speed for Zard Y, and Bolt Beam just kind of tears his team apart. As you can see, Zygarde, Greninja, Nidoqueen, Bulu, Zard Y, which are 5 of his top mons, and then Alomomola and Swallow are all weak to either Ice Beam or Thunderbolt. So it was just really great coverage for his team. And if we can get rid of Greninja, then this Pokemon should just sweep. It's a really good defensive counter to things like Bulu and Zard Y especially, which I thought was a big threat, but also had big 4-move slot syndrome against my team. Since it wants Earthquake for Heatran and Neoligo, needs a fire move, wants Solar Beam for Azu, and then wants Dragon Pulse for Mega Latias or Toxic, and hey, you gotta run Roost, right? My next Pokemon is a Fizdef Rocky Helmet Tangrowth. This is designed to help deal with things like Bulu, help deal with Zygarde, Physical Greninja, and we have Toxic to hit Zard Y on the switch. I was considering an Assault Vest set with Rock Slide, but maybe I was also considering Sludge Bomb for Bulu. I didn't really think that Bulu was too big of a threat, mostly because of the other mons I brought. I thought could deal with it pretty well, and same with Zard. So I thought Toxic was nice, also because I hate losing to a Alomomola, so we prepped for that pretty hard. And we brought Electivire. This should have been either SD Quick Attack Scizor or Dragon Dance Como, but I was like, screw it. This thing is for fun. I want to use all my Pokemon. And Bolt Beam, as mentioned when I was talking about Latias, just kind of tears through his team. So yeah, Wild Charge Ice Punch hits everything it needs to. So we can afford to run Substitute. And then Power Up Punch is just another nice move to try to boost up. And we're max speed to speed tie Zygarde. And we should be pretty nice for dealing with things like Nidoqueen, Bulu, threatening things like Alomomola, and being a nice electric community to try to help with potential Rotom being. So I thought Rotom was a pretty big threat to my team. Could definitely see it coming to try to deal with Staraptor a little better. And maybe like a Scarf set that would also help with Mega Latias. The next up we have Heatran. I knew I needed to bring this because he has like Bulu plus Zard Y, but I wasn't really sure what set. I settled on Rocks, Toxic, which is really nice for Alomomola, Lava Plume, just try to catch burns on things like Nidoqueen, Zygarde, Greninja if that comes in, and then Roar could be really nice. Especially if I Rocks up. If I can Roar in Zard Y and force it to take a round of Rocks, that could be really terrible for his team. If he's like a setup Bulu, or yeah, I mean, I guess we would. If I'm expecting like a setup move from Zygarde, I could Roar that out as well. Yeah, I was expecting maybe something like a Subseed Bulu to come, so this would have been nice for that. And lastly, we have a Paris Trap Azumarill with Whirlpool, Parasong, Protect, and Knockoff. In hindsight, this should have been Rest, which would have given me some more nice longevity, but I thought that the knockoff support could be potentially quite helpful for punishing things like Nidoqueen or Greninja possibly from coming in on this thing rather aggressively. This with the Sap Sipper ability makes it really good check to Zard, really good check to Bulu. With its typing, it naturally checks Greninja as well, barring a Gunk Shot variant. So I just wish I put Rest on this. I kind of just slapped these teams together, to be honest. At least this one, I was like, I don't really care too much. Nobody in my office was really saying anything, so this could have been polished up a little better. Yeah, if this was Como and this was Rest, I think this would have been a pretty easy game. But here is the battle. As you're going to see, he did bring the Zard, the Nidoqueen, the Bulu, the Greninja, no Zygarde, Bronzong, and Silvally. Let's see. So yeah, the Bronzong I'm thinking is probably Rocks here to deal with Staraptor. I'm interested to see what the Silvally set is. I'm thinking it could potentially be Silvally Steel or Silvally Fairy maybe. Maybe Silvally Water to try to deal with Azumarill. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to lead off with my Staraptor because I'm a bot. Oh wow, this is way slow. Yeah, so we're just going to U-turn out here. So I predict him to go for Rocks, so I make the play into Heatran. He reveals Leftovers, and he reveals to be max physically defensive. I take this as an opportunity to get up my Rocks. Oh, now it's going way too fast. And then I know this, yeah, he's Silvally Water, and I know he's going to go for Defog, so I Toxic him. So I doubt he has, like, I don't think he has a Water attack. I think this is just to try to help deal with the threat of something like Choice Band Azumarill. So that's going to be nice putting him on a timer. I'm just going to go for Rocks as he parting shots out. So these turns been going pretty well for me. So he opts to bring in Greninja and take a round of Rocks. So here I predict him to go to U-turn and make the aggressive play into Raptor. So he goes back into Bronzong. And this turn I'm going to U-turn and predict him to go for Earthquake and make the Azumarill play. And I reveal Leftovers, and I'm thinking here that, you know, he sees I'm Leftovers and he sees I'm like max HP. He should predict me to be Sap Sipper, right? So I'm just gonna go for the knockoff here. I'm expecting him to, you know, go into something that deals with Sap Sipper Azu. So he's gonna go hard Bulu, reveal the Kebia Berry, probably fearing Poison Jab Como. But that's not really gonna help me in this matchup, getting rid of that item. So we're gonna go for the Whirlpool. Just racking up damage on the Silvally. If we can get rid of this and then get up Rocks, then the Zard Y is a lot less of a threat. And here I'm gonna go for a terrible play, forgetting this thing has Parting Shot and Parasong, which is actually going to force me out. Yeah, he's gonna go for that. So he goes Zard. I Whirlpool for some damage. And yeah, since I've Parasonged, I'm actually forced out. I go into my Lottie. So he goes for Earthquake. I 100% knew he would bring Earthquake for Heatran, since it also hit Neoligo. So I was not risking my Tran there. Here I'm going to Mega Evolve and Calm Mind. Expecting him to maybe make the Nidoqueen play on a potential Thunderbolt. But he's going to go Bronzong, and I do not want this thing to be Toxic, as it's a very strong win condition if we can get rid of Greninja. So make the Heatran play. And we're in the sun. I'm thinking, you know, he might get a little gutsy here. He has the Earthquake. Let's just go for the Lava Plume. And Sun Boosted Lava Plume is going to do 53 to Fizdef Bronzong. I'm like, oh god, this thing is heat proof. So he's going to Earthquake, but thankfully we have the Shuka Berry, which was to help deal with the Charizard and Nidoqueen. So we're able to live, thankfully. But we don't have Shuka anymore, so it's going to be harder for us to deal with these two threats with our Heatran. So here we're just going to Lava Plume again. and Lava Plume in Sun is still going to do pretty decent damage to the Zard. And the Sun is gone, so Azu's pretty safe here. And we should be able to pick up a kill at this point, the combination of Whirlpool and Perish Song, since he decides to bring in his Bulu. Like, why would you bring in this so you know what my set is? But he knows I have knockoff at this point, so he knows I probably don't have Rust. If I have Protect, which yeah, most of these sets do have. So he manages to Toxic me, and I really wish I Rest at this point, because this Toxic is going to be the main thing that kills my Azu. Yeah, here I see his set, I'm like, well, he probably can't touch Heatran. I don't want anything getting Toxic on the switch. So we get Heatran in, get a little bit of grassy terrain recovery as the Bulu goes down. So that going down is, it's a decent thing, but Bulu wasn't really too good against the team I brought. It's a one fewer sack, you know. So he's going to bring out Gren. I'm going to bring out Tangrowth on the Scald. He's going to crit me and burn me, which sucks. He's going to U-turn and take some nice helmet chip. So I predict him to go bring in Charizard and go for the Toxic, as he makes a nice play and goes into Nidoqueen. Here I'm going to predict an Earth Power to come out, predicting Heatran, and I go into my Azumarill. And then I try to double on a potential Sludge Wave. And I go into my Mega Latios. So he brings in Zard, which is really nice for me. At this point, I'm just going to T-Bolt to get off some damage. And this Bronzong's getting really low, which is quite nice, since that's his main pivot into both Staraptor and Mega Latios. So you get Tangrowth in on the Earthquake. And here, I expect him to maybe predict that I'll predict his Nidoqueen and go for a knockoff here, or potentially an Earthquake, which Earthquake would also hit this Heat-proof Bronzong, though I am burned. But he could also very well go into the Nidoqueen, so I decide to double into my Staraptor, which covers both of those plays. And there's no way he would Toxic a burned Tangrowth. So he's going to make the Nidoqueen play, and I'm not thinking here, I should have calced here, but I'm going to make a massive misplay. You know, Bronzong is at 38%. Silvali's at 48 and Toxic. I'm pretty sure I OHKO Zard Y because it has terrible physical defense. And I definitely kill Greninja, which has revealed to not be Choice Scarf. Staraptor is basically won. All we need is Bronzong to take one more hit and this thing to take a little bit chip. But I'm going to make the worst play of the entire game and Brave Bird for 81% on the Nidoqueen. And he's going to kill me with Ice Beam. So we bring out Evire. And we're going to go for the Ice Punch. So he brings in Bronzong. And we sub up here, predicting a Toxic to come out, but he goes for Stealth Rock. And then 2 Wild Charges will be able to take this thing out. But we end up without a substitute. So yeah, with Staraptor gone, Bronzong isn't too necessary for his team. But my Defogger is also gone. So I need to try to somehow get up rocks with my Heatran and press for the Charizard if I want him to ever get rid of these rocks. So he impaled Greninja, and I wanted to make the substitute play. Oh, and I knew if I stay in, he's going to U-turn, he's going to go into his Nidoqueen. But I didn't make that play because, you know, I was kind of out of it. And we Wild Charge into the Queen. Like, oh, this is no big deal, I'll just click Ice Punch. But then he reveals to be Choice Scarf, and I'm like, well, this makes trading Raptor for 81 on Nidoqueen even worse, because it's like, at least like before, you know, my Heatran would have outsped it, my Electivire, my Mega Latios, like 81% of Nidoqueen would have been pretty good, you know? But it turns out this thing is actually still freaking useful because it's Choice Scarf. But he's locked in the Sludge Wave, so we're going to be able to get up our rocks with Heatran, and basically spam rocks as this thing spams Defog. Lol. Forgot I was faster, but it doesn't matter. And basically this is going to force him to trade off his Silvally for rocks to not be up. Brings in Zard, and here he's going to predict my Mega Latios, but I make the mid-ground play of my Azumarill, which I don't really consider to be particularly useful here. It's toxic, so it can't actually stay in and beat anything, since it'll lose its health before the Perish song ends. So here, make the Megalodios play. So he's going to burn me, which is kind of annoying, particularly if he doesn't have toxic. But if he has toxic, then this is actually quite good, because now he can't toxic me, and this thing walls this thing forever. I definitely don't expect this to have Dragon Pulse, since he has Earthquake and Flamethrower, because then it would be hard-walled by Azumarill. So here, I'm going to predict him to stay in, or maybe make an aggressive Greninja play on a Calm Mind. In hindsight, Ice Beam would have been better, but unfortunately we T-Bolt as he brings in Nidoqueen, the Scarf Queen. I'm just going to sack my Azu here, but he goes for Ice Beam, so this thing lives to tell another tale. We just Whirlpool for damage on the Charizard. I just want this thing, it's just a sack at this point, because we're toxic. This is a terrible play. But yeah, eventually he'll be able to kill this, and unfortunately he is outside the range of a neutral T-Bolt, because he managed to get that roost off. But we're going to go Lottie here, and this time expect the Nidoqueen, and go for the Ice Beam. I didn't think he would bring Hard Greninja in at this point, because I recognize that that's the win he's going for. And he's likely Darkinium Z Night Slash as well, because otherwise Calm Mind Megalodios would have just beat down his entire team, if you look at the mons that he brought. So we get the kill on Nidoqueen, which is really nice. You know, and this thing should deal with Zard, and my Tangrowth deals with this. So I decide that the best play is to sack my Heatran. So he just U-turns. I'm gonna go for the Toxic here. There's no reason for me to keep this. I see the way I win. I go into Megalodios here, and this thing cannot beat me, especially with Sun Up. And the T-Bolt should kill Greninja at this range. So T-Bolt will force a kill here, and yeah, basically if one thing goes down, then my remaining Pokemon will beat it. So we T-Bolt, again. He's going to be able to bring out his Greninja and kill me with the Night Slash. But thanks to the rocks and the Rocky Helmet damage from earlier, this is 100% in range of Giga Drain, and we will be able to win this game. 1-0 against Khaz. GG. I made some misplays, but I also made some pretty good plays. I made some good reads as well. So it's like this was a good game, and it definitely put me a little bit back into the swing of things, and it made me a little excited to play Chris. And we tuned up a little bit, and we got that nice win. Go ahead and check out that video. Yeah, it's gonna be a GG to Chris, and all that's gonna be left is our playoff game, as we went 2-1 with a decent differential. And so we were one of the TBL representatives in the playoffs, which was the 3 battlers from each side. Spoilers, the TBL lost the regular season to the TTM, so they got to choose all the matchups. So my matchup sucks, but we'll see how I manage to do. I'll see you on the next one.